Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview, this time covering VCT Americas KICKOFF 2025. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied by faithz0r, the head coach of 2Game Esports, of course, yes, the newly ascended 2Game Esports, coming off of their opening series match against FURIA at the start of their kickoff run. And so, faithz0r, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to do this. And first and foremost, I want to ask you, I want to tell you, welcome to VCT Americas. Pleasure to
Thank
have you
you.
here in Tier One. But obviously,
Appreciate it.
starting off against the loss against Fury, not what anyone expected it for or wanted for it to go down, but such is the case. Nevertheless, I want to ask you, how'd you kind of view the first match, for two game from your perspective?
Yeah, of course. It was not our best. We could do way better. Yeah, other than we could have won, right? But we had a lot of problems. Of course, all the teams have problems, but overall, that kind of uh made us this way. Like we did this bad because of it. We had to cancel a lot of streams the last weeks because of the fire. It happens, right? It's bigger than us, but we have to worry about safety. And yeah, and we couldn't have like a lot of time to scream, and we have the meta shift. So we tried to adapt our best with the time we had, but unfortunately, it didn't go well. But yeah, we still have time to play.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand how difficult it was for you guys to kind of deal with all of the outside stuff and also within the game. Just pretty tough overall. Nevertheless, like, what do you feel is like the biggest like lesson slash takeaway that you can kind of view or you can kind of have from this recent match that you can then improve for the next match?
Well, of course, I could see a lot of problems that usually didn't happen at scrims. I can't tell everything, but I think the biggest thing is probably the lack of not a union, but we didn't play together at all in a lot of cases. So we could do this way better, and yeah, definitely we can fix it.
Yeah, and even so, I gotta ask you first and foremost about just sort of the I don't want to say the return, but more so the arrival, because like looking over into your career phase, or it's been like literally been more than like 3 years, I would say, since like you last appeared in like in a tier one environment, not just a kind of like tier one league. Because like of course you played in Brazil challengers around 2021, and you also qualified for Masters Reykjavik, the very first LAN in the history of the game, and so from there kind of had to work in tier two, was coaching in Game Changers for a good while over in Brazil, and then went over to two game, one Ascension, got over here. Now you're here talking to me in Los
Great.
Angeles, all that good stuff, except for the talking to me stuff. And so, and nevertheless, uh, still, like I want to ask you, just sort of what's the feeling like for you to even like get to this point, reaching tier one and then having the opportunity to like face off against the best teams in the region.
Well, the feeling is excellent actually. Even though we lost, uh, it's a dream to be here, right? We fought for this. We fought a lot last year for this, and we deserve to be here. This like so yeah, the feeling is really good now that we are here in the stages. The feeling is totally different. It's in a cool way, right? It's been a dream. That's what we want to do for life. Every one of us, losing happening, right? Losing games happening happens, and yeah, we are happy. I'm happy. I'm really happy to be here.
I mean, obviously, like I gotta ask you about sort of the comparison, not really like focusing on like team wise, but more so yourself, like individual wise, because like, how do you kind of compare yourself from like around that time and in when you were in Vikings and you were kind of working with them during Reykjavik, and then also like right now, as you are a coach for two game, how do you kind of compare the faithz0r from back then to now?
Wow, I think other guy. Of course, I bring some things with me from the past, but I've learned a lot of things in this 3 years. So I'm feeling confident, way more complete, uh, and like knowing how to do everything right. Even though we lost, I'm confident with what I think and what I can do.
I mean, like, what do you feel is the one thing that you like, kind of, I don't want to say adjusted, but more so worked on the most, like as yourself for
Mm,
yourself as a
th-
coach.
yeah, that's a good question. Um, Maybe the approaching of the things with the people. I've learned a lot of things from this since I started. So I think the old faithz0r changed. I think the biggest change was this, the approaching.
Mhm. Um, follow up question to that: Why? Yeah, why that?
Well, mm, that's a good question. Why? Always why is hard, right?
Yeah.
Uh, well, probably because of inexperience. Like I I already had like previous games. I coached previous games, but from FPS, it was my first time, and of course, I already played a lot of FPS games, so I knew how to do it. But I didn't knew how to express properly. Maybe I think this is the right answer. And then we in this those 3 years, I evolved it. So I learned how to approach all the things that I think with for the boys, and yeah, that's why I evolved in this.
Yeah, definitely wonderful to listen to your perspective on how much you've grown within these past 3 years or maybe
Yeah,
even 4 years on top of that.
four
Focusing now
years. Yeah.
back on, yeah, like pretty crazy. Focusing back onto the team now itself. I mean, I gotta ask you sort of the switch of like Gobert for Spike because I understand Spike is not able to compete at his
Yeah.
current age, and so how have you guys been handling that switch and having to like work that into the squad? From like the time Gobert joined up until this current point.
Mhm. So we still adapting a lot of things. Losing Spike is a huge like vacuum because he's really complete. But Gobert fitted really well with all those things. So, of course, he's not the same role as Spike was doing, but we adapted other things around him to make Gobert comfortable, and and yeah, he's doing really well actually. Even losing, he did a great thing. He did great things. He called it really well. These both kids are really special.
And as you guys now go down into the lower bracket and await your opponent in the lower bracket, I want to ask you just sort of what do you feel is the biggest thing that the team has to work on from now until next
Well,
match.
yeah, it's gonna be a long road. I think to be there at the Masters, we have to win now. I think 6 games. So yeah, resistance, right? We have to win a lot of. We have to adapt fast, even faster than like we had. Now we had 1 week to work for the next game. I think it's gonna be 1 week. So yeah, we can't stop. We just have to be resistant and yeah, resilience.
Of course, and hopefully you guys can show plenty of that in your next match against whoever it is that is in front of you. faithz0r, thank you so much for doing this. Really do appreciate it, and of course, best of luck goes
Mhm.
to you and the rest of the team in your next match.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Thank you
I
so
hope
much
to see you
for
more.